his card is for 27. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It means us. They know, but they just want to keep their heads quiet.
That was for a reason, a long time ago, but it can be distinguished, I think, from Kingsland.
Yeah, the Zaf compound is different from Kingsland. Zaf is there in as a joint venture, but it's not a Zaf compound. It is Kingsland is meant for the local people who can buy there, and they want schools
Like
and
even Lorinda.
like
Yeah.
even Luembe. And Nungo has his house there as well. What's interesting is there they did an environmental impact assessment, and you're supposed. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I just want to say something. My name is Alexandra Lewis Casolo. Um, Today I'm here representing an organization that I work for, which is the oldest environmental conservation organization in Zambia, older than Zambia. That's WEX, Wildlife Environmental Conservation Society of Zambia. I am the secretary of the Lusaka branch. I have here a couple of my colleagues with me, Kefis and Nicola, they're somewhere in the crowd. I think it is important at a time like this, and all protocols observed, to recognize. I want to use a phrase. I spoke to my housekeeper before I headed out here, and she grew up in this area. And I said, "Well, Catherine, Tien, let's go." And she says, "Yeah, madam, funika kuchisa." So I said, "So nipeleke nkani ya bwanji kuja. What story should I take there to tell them?" She said, "Tiene kela kulemekeza malende." So for Soli speakers, for Tonga speakers, and even for other language speakers and Lozi.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Malende. Right. Malende is in fact the spirit of the environment, of nature, of why we have running rivers. She spoke out for me all the rivers in this area, and I was so ashamed that I only know the Mukamunya. She said, "Madam, ni." So I said, "The princess will be there." She said, "The princess will know." She knows which rivers run into which. And they all, and they at Turika, they go and fall in the Chalimbana. If we decimate this forest, if we do not preserve what is left and reclaim what we can, we are in grave danger of affecting our waterways, our ecosystems, our wetlands, our trees, our people. We are crying that we don't have rain at the moment. We are crying Valesa Malasha. We are crying about it because that is a livelihood for the common man. But we don't understand. Tiene kela kulemekeza malende. She told me a story. When you go to a river to collect water, madam, muzi batima aenda kusuka mpoto. We usually go to the river to wash the pots. Ukalipe kufika manzi. Before you reach the river, mufunika kutenga nchenga, the sand. Noku suka mnyansi mwampoto to wash the bottom of the pots. Because to put that pot to the river, in the river, sikusunga malende, it is an insult, it is dishonoring the nature, the spirit of nature. So I think my plea as a local resident, I live out New Kasama Way, my plea as a citizen, my plea as a Zambian, especially I'm so pleased to see the sort of people that have come here. I recognize Mr. Shenton, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Goldston. Naomi Kira, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please let's do something to stop and preserve this forest. Princess, chiefs, you are here. Ndimwe mumatisunga. Kati smuzatisunga, yai, kaya. Nditu kaya. Nditu. Chinyanja changa nchopanya panya, but at least katsako ni kambako haini.
In fact, I'm coming for lessons.
You're coming for lessons, sir. No problem, I'm coming for tea. So zikomo kwambiri mwani mberako. Twalumba kapati. Zikomo.
Next in Chisholm.
Okay.
There's a handout.
So yeah, you can. Yeah, I have 2 maps and I've got 4 copies of these you can share, and then the others I can definitely share with you if you leave any contact or whatsoever. Yes.
Greetings to everyone. I acknowledge the presence of the chiefs and chieftainess. It's a question I would like you to clarify, Sandra. When we talk about Lusaka City, how many forests are remaining? If there's only one remaining and the one remaining is forest 27 and less than half of that forest exists, then it means we're in trouble. What we have is an emergency. We recently had a cholera outbreak. More than 400 people died. We don't seem to realize the connection between ecosystems and deaths like that. All this waste coming in from the Zaf base and King's Land, because there is no sewage network, all that waste is going down. And because this is the place where all the water in Lusaka enters, the majority of it, that waste spreads out. So when we protect a place like this, an ecosystem like this, we are protecting ourselves. So my plea really is to the chiefs and chieftainess that we should engage government and ask them to take this as a #1 priority. Because if it's the only forest remaining, then we've already crossed the red line. When Lusaka City was originally designed, it was designed to be a garden city. It wasn't for the purposes of beauty only. It's because people realize the significance of ecosystems like this one. We must not drive away or move away from that vision of why we originally have Lusaka City as a garden city. It's to protect the water, which the forest which protects the water, and when the water is clean, we protect ourselves and the people. It's to draw living organisms. When we see butterflies and birds in our communities, most of them come and settle here. So when we protect this space, we are protecting much more than just trees. We are protecting ourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I ask Senior Chieftain whether you can introduce Royal Highness? Please.
Yes.
We've done the protocols the wrong way around.
Yes, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ro.
Thank you, Mr. Shenton. I'm Senior Chief Luembe from Nyimba District in Eastern Province. Next to me is Chief Kaputa from Kaputa Chief District.
Is that in Zambia?
We have Chief Ntambu from Northwestern Province. Yeah, the names usually just Chief Chitungulu from Luembe, Somali Lundazi. And then we have Chieftainess Mweezwa, commonly known to be from ITT. Those who grow like
ITT.
yes,
It is.
supersonic.
Oh.
It's from ITT. Anyone else? So, behind me there is Chief Mulendema from Ntambu district. He's also affected, and I'm sure he feels very happy to be here.
But very shy. That's why he moved from
So thank you very much for having us here. We will be part of this, and we are so happy that we have come at a time when things don't seem to be right. Yeah. Princess,
Very
pleasure is ours.
Thank you. Most
Yeah.
welcome.
One of the big things that groups like this can do is that once we start to know who's who, we can help each other fight those good fights. And certainly Forest 27 is very high profile at the moment. There's a lot of promises going on, but we're not seeing any delivered. So we're trying really hard to try and get into the government and impress upon them what they have to do to try and just at least keep the balance and maybe improve it as well. You know, these are lost causes. I think I can't see anyone in their right mind bulldozing that. I'd love to see it, but it's not going to happen. Yeah.
But if you stop it now,
But if we
we
stop
can
now,
preserve
yes.
what is still there.
And the other side of the coin is we impressed upon the Minister of the Environment. They were given a remit in these areas that if you do build there, you have to look after the trees and your immediate surroundings. They have failed to do that. And I would like to see the government enforce that rule upon them through the environmental agency. Sorry. Carry on.
Thank you so much. This is really great. My name is Rose. I work for Chifema Arboretum. I just want to ask a simple question. Is it possible maybe to have like a campaign where we can engage the community to plant more trees on the space that is already available? Is that possible? Maybe do it toward the rain season, because who's going to water them? Yeah. So is that possible to have like a sort of campaign?
I think Rolf might want to.
Well, there's two issues, isn't it?
yeah.
That really, I think that unless communities, local communities, start taking ownership of and responsibility for local forests, they will disappear, and that's really the main issue. You know, if there's a strong committee, strong interest group around here that takes control over this on behalf of the people of Zambia and in each and every area, I think then we've got a chance. The Royal Highnesses have just come from launching the CBNRM policy, which is the community-based
natural
resource management policy. And once a group of people, local people, have control over the forests and get something from that forest, have an incentive to look after that forest, I think all these problems will disappear. And the other thing is FMNR, is that we do see a lot of trees which have been cut, and there's probably not too much space to plant new trees. Obviously, if there's some species that are short, but I think we really need to look at most trees that are cut will start shooting again, and they just need a little bit of help to get going. If they look like a tree, they'll grow like a tree. If they look like a bush, they'll grow like a bush, and they'll stay very stunted, and the fires will get them every year, and they'll never really grow back. So I think it's much cheaper and easier and more resilient to look at how to restore all the stumps that were cut in most cases. But definitely there's place for planting specific species.
Carry on.
I don't know whether I should direct my question to.
Sorry, Chieftainess Mweezwa.
I just want to find out from the princess if the royal establishment have ever engaged government on what is being done
Correct.
in the Forest 27. And with because I know you have some private partners, NGOs working with you. So what have you done as a royal establishment?
Thank you, Roy.
Maybe I can write to that question, because that was always also. I don't know whether to direct the question to their Royal Highnesses on what powers you have to stop degazetting of forest. We have a chief here from Nimba.
Yeah.
We are aware of a land which was sold to some lady, a daughter to somebody. What were you doing? What did you do to stop that? Did you play a role in stopping that taking over of a huge forest? Brown envelope. No, he didn't. So I'm actually very disappointed also with my I'm very disappointed because me and Robert and I think I felt personally that I was fighting a losing battle. We made a lot of noise on television, in the media, but your establishment was completely silent, never openly supported what you were trying to do. The MP, my friend Sylvia Masebo, was silent. She should have been more concerned than me. I have my home, Senanga, my constituency. But the MP for your Chongwe never supported us. Even if she was minister, said, I support the work of what these people are doing in preserving this ecological forest. The MP for Lusaka, Mr. Aimbe, Lusaka Central, which Lusaka, the Lusaka, Lusaka depends on this, what you call water source, okay? But quiet. We never got support. So I felt at one time very despondent about continuing because I'm a person who talks up to a point. We made our point. We made our point to the media, and you reach a dead end. I felt I'm reaching a dead end. No support from the Royal Highness, no support from members of Parliament, from the politicians. They all kept quiet. Even the ones who were against it in Parliament today are quiet. Why? So for me, that's what I would just like to ask. Why?
Just to answer what
Yes,
he had asked,
yes.
I think the piece of land that he's talking about is in Sinda,
Or not Nimba.
not Nyimba.
Oh, sorry.
Nevertheless,
It's in Eastern Province.
yes, it's in Eastern Province.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is when a forest is gazetted,
Yes,
it's a protected
yes.
area. It falls more on the government side than customary land. But generally, communities may be allowed to live in there when it's away from
Oh, yeah.
such areas.
Mhm.
But areas like this one, which is a water catchment,
Yes.
I think it's more on the protected side than allowing it to deteriorate like this. So, what maybe could have happened at the time for Eastern Province would have been that it was done within government itself. And when it's done like that, most of the times you find that the chief or the local community is just informed of the developments.
No consultation.
Usually we
Shame.
don't take consultation.
Yes, thank you, Your Royal
Shame.
Highness.
Pity.
My recognition and respect to you, Your Royal Highnesses, Mr. Harrington, and the organizers and everybody else present here. I really appreciate what you're doing, Sandra. And answering your question, Mr. Harrington, your expression of disappointment with the royal establishment, feeling as though the royal establishment deserted you or did not, in your words, respond to your efforts made to protect the
Moral
forest.
support.
I should say, looking at you,
I'm lying.
also with disappointment, in the sense that
Yes.
Her Royal Highness, if you actually remember, Honorable,
Mhm.
she's one of the few Royal Highnesses that spoke out during the PF tenure. This is when all this was happening, for your own recognition and understanding. It was during the PF. And during that PF time, Her Royal Highness was our number one target. They did everything to want to remove her from the throne or do everything and anything. But to your own surprise, we might not have spoken to you, but we've been working with you. You are going to be my witness. Ralph is somewhere.
And
Uh,
Robert.
Robert, the late.
Yeah.
I was at the indoor for the chiefs. That's where we met. And we've been fighting here. We're in court. The royal establishment. We've put an injunction on NOPSA, who are just building down
Yes.
the forest.
I'm aware.
ZAF, we're in court. We put an injunction. But however, as you have clearly said,
we've also spoken. It's a shame that maybe we were not on the same platform as you and I, because half the time, Her Royal Highness has not been well the last 2 years and a half. But I have been running around trying our level best to protect what we can. And we've done our best actually. But it is your systems, you politicians, actually started from the MMD, your time. All these wrong things stemmed then. But now, people, like the PF government, made it even worse. Like some of these gazetting of forests were not even consulted. Some of us just had it. And thank you that you came on board with zeal and vim, and you made every effort to stop this development here. And it is a shame that you feel like the royal establishment, we are the owners of Lusaka province. We have not done enough to stop the development. But where you have gone to court and the judicial systems don't do what they should do. We've got all the SIs that should have stopped things running here. But they continued, however. We have spoken, we have fought. We came here with Bachimambo. We are one of the people on his case. Where the area where he lives has been taken to court, or has taken people to court. But things have started. Anyway, here we have to work together. The royal establishment, we are trying. That's why we actually worked together with the UPND while in opposition on the floor of the House, the National Assembly. It was when we win, next is demolition, graders, but we never saw that. We brought them here, and we're still fighting right now, reminding them. I'm on the phone with Gary Combo half the time and asking about what is going on, because things have continued. If not, they've gone up a gear, and developments are everywhere. But we are talking about the environment. We're talking about the drought. What are we? All this, like somebody connected it just a few minutes ago to the drought and the rivers and the buildings that are here on this aquifer. These are sacred grounds, like she said. Kumalende, Uko, the source of the Chalimbana River. But however, we still have to work together. We still have to fight this fight. I'm also disappointed in myself that we haven't maybe tried enough to engage government, because we have had several meetings in their offices, coming to Chongwe, and they promised that they would do X, Y, and Z, but nothing has happened. Is a reason I was holding myself back, because I fought and worked with UPND while in opposition. And now things are even worse. But we don't want, when we start talking, they start calling us opposition and whatever else. However, things have to be spoken.
Yeah, sure.
We have to go back to the drawing table. We have to engage the president in this, because we have engaged all the ministers. Like you said, Sandra said, now the Minister of Lands pronounced that they'll protect the remaining of the forest, which is 218. But we know that the remaining of the forest is 736 hectares. Where is the 500? Are we sharing it now? And we don't want to tell the people? So we must question that. We must question, why are the developments still continuing? Where, like your question, what is their stance now from opposition to today? Where are we going? Tell us so that we also know and understand. Hence, we can know what to do and also fight for what is right. and justice must prevail. And this is what we're saying. Her Royal Highness is with us despite her not feeling well, and she sent me here. I will represent the royal establishment of Lusaka province, and we shall do our very best to fight, really. Thank you so much. And Harrington, we have not neglected you. We shall work together. So is Ralph, my brother. We shall work. And I know with you, I bet you, you know what I mean.
But have you ever considered engaging the president at the highest level and said, look, I said it. The Vision 427 is basically in the hands of HH. I said it in the press.
Yes.
It's him now.
Yes,
You know,
it
we
is.
made our point about it. Have you ever?
Yes, on the 5th of May 2022, we had a dossier of everything, all the issues.
No, to engage him on the personal level.
That's it. I'm coming to that. We had issues in Lusaka province. Forest 27 was one of those. We've got the Kafua frontage. We have Shantumbu next to the Lusaka Game Park. We have Chongwe, Mikango. All those issues, we took it to the president. On the 5th of May 2022, they gave us an audience at Community House. We took it there with Her Royal Highness. We went and presented, and His Excellency the President welcomed us, listened to us, gave us an ear, and gave us advice. He said, from tomorrow, my peer, who was Honorable Munji, take this issue on. Tomorrow, arrange a meeting at the Ministry of Lands. You were there.
Yes.
We invited you.
Yes.
We invited Mr. Chimambo.
That's right.
And we were given audience. We presented that.
The president invited
yes. The president was invited, but he said he was going to give the responsibility to Honorable Munji. And he was in that meeting. You were there. Even you're asking me that question. You were there.
Yes.
Yeah. And they said, we are going to investigate.
No, I was talking about the president himself.
But
he sent
and that was the outcome of the one-to-one
But you know, let
meeting.
me reveal something here which I've never spoken about.
But I haven't even finished.
Okay,
you
finish.
will see. The fact is, the report from that meeting up to date has not been brought back to the royal establishment. Every day we're asking them. I'm following up with the PS and the minister. The PS says we have done everything, but the minister said he will take it himself, and he's never brought it up to date. We're still following on that report. How you can explain?
Yeah, let me reveal something.
Yeah.
Let me reveal something which I've never revealed to anybody.
Okay.
About 3 months before the elections last year, when in 2021, we had a meeting with President Hakainde Hichilema, the opposition in Woodlands over some issues, some other issues. We met there.
Yes.
And we discussed it. As I escorted him to his car, he held me by the hand like this. Sorry.
The Royal Highness.
The Royal Highness.
Are you allowed to be touched?
I'm a senior Induna commissioner. If you don't know that, we are now cousinship. So he held me by the hand.
You know, but somebody posted on social media today saying, don't bring your thievery here. You know, Natola fie uko kwine. Stay with Natola fie uko kwine. Yes,
He said to me, Mr. Harrington, don't worry, we are going to get back to Police 27.
And
it's a bombshell. I've never said it. I've never said it publicly. I could have.
But I have a video.
So now I'm saying it. If there's media here, I don't mind revealing what he assured me. That statement I got from him encouraged me.
That's right.
That's what encouraged me to pursue this.
Yes.
So where is his assurance today? If you had called me for that meeting with him, I would have asked him on the spot and said, Mr. President, you assured me.
Yes. But that one was a royal established specific meeting. We couldn't
about Forest 27.
About our issues. Forest 27 is one of our issues. They were all listed. Like I said,
I would have brought it
Forest
up during
27 was one of them.
I would have brought it up during your discussion for I would have brought that into him. Saying what happened to your assurance you gave
But
me?
you should have brought it up because I
never
invited
invited me.
you. I did. You came to the Ministry of
But
Lands.
President wasn't there. I didn't want to say it at that stage. I think it was wrong for me to say it in front of civil servants.
We made the effort. Eh?
In front of
We have made the effort.
in front of civil servants. In front of civil servants. I couldn't say it.
Okay, let's have another engagement.
Please.
Yeah, meet together for a coffee and work it out.
Yes.
I'm making tea, so I'll invite both of you.
Yeah.
Before we go off, sorry, this young lady here had her hand up for a long while.
Yes.
Did you like
I'm now terribly embarrassed because I am seriously nothing in the bigger picture. So
Oh, come on. Yeah.
yeah. Royal Highnesses and chiefs and all protocols deserved. I beg your pardon. But please know that you have my respect and thank you for the opportunity to listen because I, at heart, am an environmentalist. I like to see what happens, but at the same time, like everybody, we all have jobs. We all working in different things. We do different things. It is. Um, I have a question. These things run for years and years and years around the world. Around the world. What actually brings them to light and what actually pushes them into bigger branches, it would appear, is a tool that we now have in the world, which is that whole social media thing. And then, people start to hear about things and there's an energy that happens. And ultimately, what it boils down to, in my opinion, and it's a humble opinion, is the education aspect. Literally from school time to in the towns, in the villages, in the wherever, there's an element that says education starts. If you go for a walk and someone says to you, do you know what that is? You say, no, I don't. What is it? Oh, that's a whirly bird. We call it a whirly. What is it? It's an ant. It's a lion ant, the ant lion. Ant lion. Choli choli. Yeah, those little, the chongololo. There he is, and so on. How many of the children who live in the cities even understand? How many of them, when you say to them, where did the milk come from? Certainly in other countries, we are still able to, our children are a bit more where they get milk, we bought it in the supermarket. So ultimately, with education, it could start with building pamphlets and trips and everything. And I know it's been done all over the place, but not in a concerted way, if you understand what I mean.
So as WEX, we are doing that through the Chongololo and Chipembele clubs. They still continue.
So if they continue and there is a lot more sort of focus on what's being done and a lot more energy is put into using that as a channel in some way, it's a way to help. Because if someone's building a great big house in the wrong place, and you say, but you chop down all the trees, you put down concrete paving, do you know what happens when it rains? Where does the water go? How does it get into the ground if there's concrete? Do you realize that you're stopping yourself from getting so? Don't plant a palm tree. Leave the big tree that's a natural tree and so on. So, yeah, it's a small thing.
But it's a huge thing.
It's a huge thing.
For the awareness.
I once you start with that, you create a sense of curiosity, understanding, almost a sense of responsibility comes from it. It's a long plan, isn't it?